Imagine receiving a phone call that can fulfill every wish you ever had, but the problem is that those wishes come with a dangerous price. The story begins with a boy named Sid, who secretly likes a girl from his school named Angie. Sid's friend knows about his feelings and keeps encouraging him to finally confess his love to her. One day, while Sid is skating with Angie, he tries to create a romantic moment by pushing her towards him. But instead of impressing her, things go completely wrong and Sid loses his balance, falling straight into a garbage can. When Angie comes to help him, Sid becomes so embarrassed that he almost forgets to even look at her. Since Angie was new to the city, Sid decides to show her around and spend some time with her. However, Sid was not the only one interested in Angie. A troublemaking boy from another school was also watching her and had a crush on her. But unlike him, Sid was not worried and continued trying to become closer to Angie. Soon, Angie asks Sid for his phone number so they can stay in touch. But Sid gets embarrassed because he doesn't have a phone. His friend then reveals that Sid actually had one before, but he broke it during an angry moment. After hearing this, Sid goes home and asks his mother for money because his birthday is coming. But Sid had another plan in his mind. Instead of using the money for something else, he wanted to buy a new phone. Unfortunately, his mother only gives him 30 euros. Since that amount was not enough, Sid goes to the hotel where he works after school to ask his boss for some extra money. When Sid returns home late from work, his boss gets angry and scolds him for being late. After that, Sid gathers courage and asks him for money. Surprisingly, his boss gives him 100 euros. Seeing the money, Sid becomes extremely happy and thinks his problem is finally solved. But poor Sid doesn't know that the money is fake. His boss was only joking with him and had tricked him. Later, Sid visits a strange phone shop to buy a new device. The shopkeeper shows him different phones, but Sid cannot afford any of them because he only has 30 euros. Then the shopkeeper brings out a mysterious box and gives it to him. Inside the box is a strange phone. As soon as Sid opens it, smoke starts coming out and a glowing red phone appears. The phone looks unusual, and the most mysterious thing about it is that it has two small horns on it. Without thinking much, Sid immediately gives his money to the shopkeeper and takes the phone. But after leaving the shop, he realizes the phone is not working. Angry and confused, Sid returns to complain and asks for his money back. However, the moment he shows the phone to the shopkeeper, it suddenly starts working. The phone even takes a picture of Sid by itself. When the shopkeeper realizes the phone is actually working, he changes his mind and wants the phone back. He tries to take the phone from Sid, but Sid refuses and runs away with it. The next day at school, everyone is talking about a girl who was selected for a hair advertisement. She was actually Angie's friend because she had beautiful hair. Sid approaches Angie and proudly shows her his new phone, asking for her number. But before Angie can react, her friend starts making fun of Sid and his strange phone. Suddenly, the phone takes a picture of the girl by itself. Later, in the science lab, some students start teasing Sid's friend, which leads to a fight. Sid gets involved while trying to defend him, and eventually the teacher punishes everyone who participated in the fight. But something strange happens afterward. While Sid is still in the lab, his phone suddenly calls someone without him touching it. The person on the other side is the same girl from the hair advertisement, Angie's friend. The phone somehow causes her hair to catch fire, but she has no idea what is happening. She just feels heat and wonders why the lab suddenly became so hot. Everyone panics and quickly covers her head with a cloth to put out the fire. The principal calls her into his office to ask what happened. The girl explains that she only received a phone call and after that, she doesn't know what happened. But the strange part is that the principal doesn't even punish her. Instead, he sits there talking to a fish inside his office as if everything is normal. Meanwhile, Sid is sitting at home practicing how he will finally tell Angie about his feelings. Suddenly his phone rings. When he answers, he realizes that the phone itself has called Angie. Angie says, "Hello Sid," and Sid gets shocked. He quickly says that he was only practicing and didn't mean to call her. The next day at school, Sid tells his friend that his phone is making calls by itself. While they are discussing it during class, the teacher notices them. The teacher angrily comes to Sid, hits his head lightly, and asks him a question from the lesson. Sid doesn't know the answer at all. But then something unbelievable happens. The answer starts appearing on Sid's phone screen by itself. His friend notices it too and is shocked that the phone is helping him. The teacher sees the phone and immediately grabs it from Sid's hand, throwing it away. After class, Sid goes to pick it up, expecting it to be damaged, but the phone is completely fine. Both Sid and his friend are confused about how the phone knew the answer. The next morning, when Sid wakes up, the phone surprises him by wishing him a happy birthday. Sid becomes confused because he never entered his birth date into the phone. When he meets his friend, he tells him about it. His friend believes something is wrong with the phone and tells Sid that he should throw it away. But then his friend gets another idea. He says if the phone is really powerful, maybe it can remove their punishment from the lab fight. As soon as he says this, this, Sid receives a call from the principal's assistant. She mistakes Sid for the principal and starts talking to him. Using this opportunity, Sid cancels their punishment and even orders food for himself. Soon, the food actually arrives, and Sid and his friend become extremely excited after seeing that the phone's power is real. Meanwhile, the teacher who threw Sid's phone earlier is sitting in class and making fun of him. Later, when Sid and his friend are sitting together in a club, his friend asks to borrow the phone. He says he wants to use it to bring his parents closer. Sid doesn't really want to give away the phone, but eventually he agrees. However, the moment his friend takes the phone, it switches off. Frustrated, his friend gets angry and throws the phone into water before leaving. But when Sid picks it up, the phone turns back on as if nothing happened. The next morning, Sid is talking with Angie at school when suddenly a thief steals Angie's phone and runs away. Sid and Angie immediately chase after the thief using their skateboards. Behind them, the same troublemaking boy and his friends are also following because he still likes Angie. But while chasing them, the boy receives a call on his phone. Distracted by the call, he crashes his car into a wall. Meanwhile, Sid and Angie successfully catch the thief and recover the phone. Later, Sid asks Angie to have dinner with him, but Angie refuses because she needs to prepare for her history exam. Afterward, Sid meets his friend again, who tells him that the troublemaking boy had an accident. Sid becomes worried and asks whether he is alive or dead. Then Sid uses his mysterious phone and calls the history teacher, asking him all the questions that might appear in the exam. But before they can enjoy this advantage, the group of troublemaking boys finds them and starts beating them badly. During the fight, one of the boys receives a call. Sid remembers what happened before and stops him from answering because he doesn't want the phone to hurt anyone again. After some time, a girl arrives and tells the boys that Sid is going to help everyone cheat in today's exam. Hearing this, the troublemaking boys leave them. And exactly as expected, everyone is shocked when they see the exam paper because Sid had already revealed the history questions to everyone. Later, while eating in the school cafeteria, Angie surprises Sid by asking him to sit with her. The troublemaking boy becomes extremely jealous after seeing them together, but suddenly his phone starts ringing. When the naughty boy answers the phone call, something strange happens. The moment he hears the voice from the phone, he completely loses control of himself and starts doing weird things. He removes his clothes and begins dancing in front of everyone. It becomes clear that Sid's phone is not just making calls, it is controlling people and forcing them to do whatever it wants. Meanwhile, Sid's mother also receives a surprise. She suddenly gets free trip tickets, and Sid realizes that this is another thing the mysterious phone has done. Later, when Sid goes to his job, his boss starts behaving badly with him and insults him. This time Sid does not argue back. He simply leaves the place quietly, but the phone does not forget what happened. Without Sid knowing, the phone calls his boss by itself. After answering the call, the boss suddenly loses control and starts doing a dangerous disco performance by putting his head near hot oil, showing just how powerful and dangerous this phone has become. After this, Sid decides to use the naughty boy's father's car and takes Angie for a ride. While they are traveling around the city, the naughty boy notices them and immediately recognizes that the car belongs to his father. Sid takes Angie to watch a movie, but during their time together, Angie discovers the truth that the car does not belong to Sid and that he is not actually rich. However, instead of getting angry, Angie doesn't care about the money or the car because she likes Sid for who he is. When Sid starts telling Angie about his mysterious phone, he suddenly remembers that he accidentally left the phone inside the car. Sid quickly goes back to get it, but when he reaches there, the naughty boy and his friend are already waiting. They attack Sid badly, beat him up, and take both the car and the phone away from him. After the attack, Sid returns injured and Angie helps clean his wounds. Meanwhile, inside the stolen car, Sid's phone suddenly starts ringing. The naughty boy's friend answers the call, and as soon as he picks it up, he is forced to jump out of the moving car. At first, it looks like he survived without any injury, but moments later, a truck comes from the road and hits him, killing him instantly. Because of this incident, the police arrest Sid and Angie. The naughty boy tells the police that Sid is controlling people with his phone and forcing them to do dangerous things. Later, inside the police station, the inspector starts questioning Sid. But before anything can happen, the phone suddenly rings again. The inspector answers the call, and after listening to it, he starts smiling strangely. Then he releases Sid without asking any more questions and even returns his phone back to him. After leaving the station, Sid hears more bad news. His boss has also suffered because of the phone and ended up putting his head into hot oil. Now Sid finally understands that the phone is not a gift. It is a dangerous object that can destroy anyone around him. Sid looks at the phone and asks why it keeps hurting innocent people and why it does these terrible things. The phone gives a shocking reply. It says, "I love you." Sid becomes even more scared and tries everything to destroy the phone, but no matter what he does, the phone cannot be broken. Finally, he throws it into a ditch, hoping he can get rid of it forever. Later, all the friends gather at Angie's house and discuss the situation. Everyone believes that Sid's phone is causing huge problems and putting people's lives in danger. But Angie defends Sid and says that Sid is not responsible because she has personally seen the phone making calls by itself. Meanwhile, some people find the phone in the ditch and bring it back to Sid. Now Sid is again stuck with the dangerous device, and he and his friends start thinking about how they can finally destroy it. That night, Sid's phone suddenly calls him. When Sid answers, the phone tells him that its next victim will be Angie. Hearing this, Sid becomes furious. He warns the phone that it will not hurt Angie or anyone else. At the same moment, the phone starts ringing at Angie's house. Everyone becomes terrified. One of Angie's friends answers the call and starts screaming, but soon they realize she was only pretending and making fun of everyone. Then they discover that it was actually Angie's mother who was calling. She was simply warning her to turn off the gas. But the danger is not over. Another phone starts ringing, and this time one of the girls answers it. The phone takes control of her mind and she ends up harming herself with a knife. At the same time, the naughty boy, who is also under the phone's control, attacks another girl by throwing boiling water at her. Even Angie's dog starts attacking the naughty boy's friend. Just then, Sid and his friends finally arrive at the house. They see complete chaos everywhere. Angie is struggling with her own mother, who has also been affected by the phone. The naughty boy attacks Angie's mother and knocks her unconscious. Everyone realizes that the phone has taken control of too many people. Sid and his friends decide that there is only one solution left. They have to destroy the phone. They take the phone to a machine that can break it, but the naughty boy, still controlled by the phone, blocks their way. Sid faces him while the others try to figure out the password needed to activate the machine. The naughty boy grabs a chainsaw and moves towards Sid, planning to kill him. But because he is still being controlled, things go wrong and he ends up dying himself. Finally, they enter the password and put the phone inside the machine. The phone gets completely destroyed. But after some time, Sid suddenly returns to his normal state, as if the phone's control over him has disappeared. Sid, Angie, and their friends then take the broken phone situation back to their school. But the moment they arrive, the phone starts ringing and calls every student at the same time. Angie immediately tells everyone not to answer the calls. However, the principal, who is already under the phone's control, walks forward and places the phone near a teacher's ear. The teacher immediately suffers the consequences and dies, causing all the students to panic. Now thousands of people become angry and want to attack Sid and Angie because they believe everything is happening because of them. At that moment, Sid gets an idea. He decides the only way to stop the phone is to freeze it completely. He puts the phone into liquid nitrogen. But the principal, still controlled by the phone, tries to remove it. Before he can succeed, Sid's friend grabs the phone. A boy tries to place the phone near Sid's friend's ear so that he will also become controlled. But Sid's friend manages to throw the phone into the tank. The phone freezes completely. Then Sid's friend reveals that he had already protected himself by putting cotton in his ears, so the phone could not control him. Finally, Sid hugs his friend, and Angie also confesses her feelings to Sid. The three of them take the frozen tank containing the dangerous phone and throw it into the sea, hoping it will never return again. And with this, the story of the movie Hell Phone comes to an end. After seeing everything that happened, would you still want a phone that could fulfill all your wishes?